might say she's giving. I don't know what exactly, but she's given something. Hi everyone, I hope that you are doing well. If you were to try one brand in 2024 that you haven't tried yet, I cannot recommend to you enough Haus Labs, and we're going to talk about them today. This is a brand that has gained so much traction in the last year and a half, primarily because last year in 2023, they launched their concealer, which went incredibly viral. And shortly prior to that, they had also launched their foundation, which has really just taken over the makeup world. This won the Allure Best of Beauty Clean Foundation for 2023, and so of course everyone wanted to try it. I am not exaggerating when I say that every single product I've tried in this line is a win. Like, they did not miss anything. The line caters to such an array of makeup that you desire, whether it is natural or more of what I would consider here today like a fuller glam. It has everything in between. You can build the products up, you can sheer them out. The powders are just so finely milled that they just glide onto your face and you really can't go wrong. So before we dive into all of this excitement today, my name is Molly. This is my new YouTube channel, The Beauty of It All. If you're a makeup lover, if you're a beauty guru, this is the spot for you. We go over product reviews and recommendations. I share some makeup tips, and we create really simple yet sophisticated looks that you can easily recreate with whatever products you have on hand. If those things sound like they're up your alley, please make sure and subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos, and let's get into it. I'm done talking. Let's put some makeup on. So to start this look, I have got my skincare all nicely settling in. So I'm going to start out with a primer. Haus Labs doesn't have a primer, so I'm just going to use today this Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Power Serum. If you haven't seen or heard of this primer yet, it's new to the market in 2024, and like the name suggests, it does start out as a watery serum that dries down to a powder format to create a little bit more of a mattified look. With this, you want to make sure you're rubbing it well and pressing it into the skin. Depending on how you prep your skin for this foundation, which I'm going to talk about next, you really can manipulate the finish on the scale from dewy to more matte. So I'm kind of going for somewhere in the middle because I've prepped my skin with more dewy skincare, but then since I'm adding a bit more of a mattifying primer, I'm looking to achieve really more of a natural finish. So on to the first Haus Labs product. So we have got their Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. I am in the shade 70 Fair Neutral. So I'm just gonna go in with one pump here. So as you can see, the viscosity of this foundation is rather low, so it does stretch very nicely. I've done up to 2 pumps, but probably don't recommend more than like 1.5 to 2 pumps of building up the foundation, though it does build up very nicely. One of the main claims with this foundation is that it's infused with so many skincare benefits, one being fermented arnica, which claims to reduce redness, even skin tone, and protect the skin from environmental stress. I will say I did find a bit of a challenge to get my exact shade in this foundation. I tried 4 or 5 because what I thought I got on the website wasn't what I expected in real life as far as the undertones. It does look a little light on my skin right now, but as you watch the video, you'll be able to tell that it sets really nicely into the skin. So I just recommend getting shade matched in a store, or maybe take a couple of samples with you, but there's 51 shades, so I'm sure that there is something that'll work phenomenal for everyone here. All right, so once I feel like the foundation is sufficiently blended in, the next product I'm going to go in with is the Triclone Skin Tech Concealer. I have 2 shades here. I have 14 Light Peach and 11 Light Neutral. I typically will use this peach shade more in summertime, but I've actually found that it can be a nice almost color corrector when mixed with this 11 Light Neutral. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of both of these just so you can see. I'm going to start with 14 Light Peach. This is the packaging, and you can see it's just got a small doe foot applicator. When you put the doe foot applicator back into the packaging, there's almost a bit of a stopper right here in the nose of the tube. So what that does is it scrapes off kind of any excess product that you might get on the doe foot applicator, which is amazing and very, very innovative. It seems like a small detail, but it's really quite cool. But then when you put it back into the packaging, you do have to be careful because there is a little bit of pressure that you have to apply, and you don't want to bend the dough foot one way or the other too much and risk, you know, snapping it. So just be wary of that. Again, I'm gonna go in with just a tish of light peach, just really in the inner corner. Again, kind of as a color corrector almost. And then I will use 11 light neutral to brighten. Just gonna use a bit here on the outer corner. I'm also going to take just a little bit more of 11 light neutral, add a couple dots around my nose where I tend to get a little red. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Haus Labs concealer brush. I mentioned this when I used this brush in my last video. This is a great brush for blending concealer in smaller areas on your face, but transparently, I don't love it for blending concealer under the eyes. For the purposes of today's video, I definitely wanted to show you the brush, but it is just a little too large for under the eye, and the bristles are pretty dense, so they feel like they tug a little under your eye, which is an area that you just want to be really delicate with. So I feel like I have to just pull a bit more to get it to blend out, particularly because it is a thicker formula of concealer and has almost a mousse-like texture. But if you like a medium to full coverage concealer, this will be such a win for you. And you can sheer it out and just use less for lighter coverage as well. Next, now that we have our beautiful base done, I'm gonna go ahead and set it with some powder. So this is the Haus Labs Bio Blurring Loose Setting Powder I just picked up the shade Translucent. This is a newer powder to me, but this is quickly becoming one of my all-time favorites. This is the packaging. So it's got kind of a stopper in the center, and then you've got your typical mesh over the powder. The one thing I will say, when I first got this product, I thought, oh, how cool. Like you don't really tap it into the cap because there's no area, so it's less messy, or so I thought. And that is true, but I found that it's just a little hard to pick it up with a powder puff. Like you really kind of have to press into the mesh, and I don't want to risk puncturing it or kind of damaging the mesh. So depending on if you get this product, how your personal preference ends up being, you might actually find it easier to just go into this particular packaging with a brush. So just kind of a caveat there. Today, I'm just gonna go in with a powder puff, picking up some of the product, and then always, always, always remember rubbing the excess into my hand. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and set the face. Typically, I would set maybe a little later in my makeup routine, but because the rest of the face products that I'm going to be using today are powder products, I'm going to go ahead and do this step now. One thing I love about this powder is I really don't even feel like there's powder on my face, but shine anywhere on my face is just immediately absorbed and gone. I'll make sure and zoom in so you can see that there's no cakiness. You can't see powder on my face. You're just going to see a really nice mattified base. As I've been testing this for the past few weeks, this really does control shine well throughout the day. I've worn this easily for up to like 8 to 10 hours a day without feeling like I need to touch it up, which is such a win. Perfect, so brows are done. The 3 products I used today, my Rare Beauty Brow Gel, my e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil, and then I did also fill in a bit today just with my NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Pen. I think they're looking really nice and full and fluffy, so we're ready to move on to our next step. So we have a brand new product in this video. I've never tested this before. This is the Haus Labs Blush in the shade Hibiscus Haze. So these were recently rebranded. They were not reformulated. There was some speculation about that online because they had these blushes previously, then they were gone, and then they came back about a month ago. And everyone was like, what's different? What's different? It's just the packaging. So nothing about the formula is different if you've tried these before and you want to go repurchase another one. But they did launch 2 new shades. So this shade, Hibiscus Haze, is not new to the collection, but there are 2 new shades. One is like a rosy color, and then one is kind of like a more almost like terracotta color. It's more of like blush bronzer kind of in between shade. I'll put a picture of them here so you can see for yourself. But I thought that this color would be just really flattering, and it's perfect for spring too. I just thought this was really beautiful color for spring. First impression here, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm just going to take, this is just an e.l.f. blush brush. So I mentioned this in my last video, but just a quick tip when you're working with a new blush, I highly recommend being more gentle than you think you probably need to be with the formula. So rather than swirling your brush or like swiping it very intensely, be really gentle. Like, I mean, I'm literally gonna go like this with the formula for a couple of reasons. One, you don't know how much kickback a powder might have, and so you don't want to make a mess or waste product. But two, you don't know how pigmented a blush is. So the last thing that you want to do is go in super hard with your brush and then just be screwed when it applies to your face and it's just a massive deposit of pigment that you, because it's a new formula, you don't know how easily it blends out. I don't think that'll be an issue with this blush, but just as a tip if you're working with a new blush at home. So again, I'm very, very gently just going to go ahead and tap this into the product and then tap off excess. Just as I did that, I don't see a lot of kickback with powder, which is nice. Let's go ahead and put this on. I'm so excited. All right, so I'm just gonna go a little higher than the apples of the cheeks to kind of start putting this on. Ooh, okay, immediately I'm noticing that it just gives a very blurred effect. It's not surprising because we set this with powder, and so the Haus Labs powders, I'm not surprised, are gonna lay nicely on top of one another, but this color is so pretty. It's I mean, the description is really quite perfect. It's a pinky mauve, I think is how it's described on the website, and I completely agree. It's not too pink, it's not too mauve, it's really just that beautiful, beautiful in between. I'm gonna build this up a little bit, but this is looking so good. I am very excited. Oh my goodness, that is just so pretty. I figured I would like this because of just how much I enjoy the brand as a whole. It's one of my favorites, but man, they don't miss. I have no more good things to say about it. I love it. Obviously, again, this is a first impression, so we'll continue to see how we're wearing over time, but man, this is just, she's stunning. Okay, I love it. Again, this is the shade Hibiscus Haze. They've got 5 other shades if you are interested in picking up one of these. I'll have it linked in the show description notes. Okay, next. I'm so excited. I'm fairly confident when I say like this was one of my favorite products from 2023, and it's a Haus Labs Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer. You can hopefully tell how much this is loved by just like the packaging. I mean, I've made a good old dent. When I bought it, all of the packaging is very consistent in that it's got the H embossed for Haus Labs, so you can't even see it anymore in this one. That's how much I've been using it. I'm shocked I haven't hit pan. The shade that I have is light level 3. Gotta say, like, Gaga, of course, like no surprise, made her line incredibly inclusive, but this bronzer has 8 shades, which if you just poke around on like the Sephora website, it is shocking for a brand to come out with 8 shades of a powder bronzer, like, or even a cream. The most I think I've seen is Makeup by Mario, I think has 6. I mean, Charlotte Tilbury has 4. I think Dior only has 4. Makeup Forever's got 4. I think Anastasia Beverly Hills only has 3. So like, again, this is just really, really a standout. It's incredibly common for brands to just have a range of like 3, maybe 4, like light, medium, and deep. So the fact that Gaga has 8 shades is incredible, and again, just speaks volumes to how inclusive she really wanted to be with this makeup brand. I'm just going to go in and get some on the brush, again, tapping off, and I'm gonna go in and just apply right over our blush. Every step that I finish with this, I'm just like, it makes me so happy because it's just so good. Like the quality, the finish, the ease of application, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Next, I'm so excited for this combo, particularly with this blush. This is going to be chef's kiss beautiful. I'm gonna go in with the Bio Radiant Gel Power Highlighter. I have the shade Rose Quartz. I was so thrilled that I saw Lady Gaga come out with like some fun shades of highlighter like this in the line. Of course she has the classic, you know, beautiful champagnes and golds, but how fun is this? And I think sometimes we can get really intimidated by the color in a pan and be like, oh, I can't put that, you know, bold of a color on my cheek, but it's so pretty and you don't use a ton. It's just a nice addition of color to what you've already got on your face. So I am going to take just a Rare Beauty. This is their highlighter brush. It's very light, it's very fluffy. I'm gonna take, I mean, really a small amount, you guys. You don't need a ton. Just kind of go like that. And then I'm going to just lightly dust this over the blush. And it's not gonna be crazy noticeable, but it's gonna give us a beautiful glow to the skin. They also just like match quite well, so it goes on very seamless. And look at that, it's such a pretty glow. All right, now we're ready for eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with their Optic Intensity eyeliner. This is in the shade Deep Cocoa Matte. One thing that I'm gonna do today, I have not done before, I'm going to try and blend it out. This is a brush that's on the other side of the liner. I'm gonna just try and see how well this can smudge out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start by lining my upper lash line, and I'm gonna focus mostly on the outer half and kind of doing a small wing, and then I'm just gonna kind of blend it out to see how it diffuses. All right, I'm not gonna lie, that wasn't great. It was fine. This is really, really stiff, and I will say this is not a good or bad thing. It's just the nature of the product. It's a stiffer eyeliner, and so it just doesn't have like a great natural glide to it, which is okay. I think it's good for everyday use, but if you need a liner that is really blendable, easy to smudge, this is not it. So just keep that in mind. Overall, this is like a, I would say a 7 out of 10. The brush is a 4 out of 10, like not very good. But it's a good basic liner. This is the one product out of everything I'm putting on today that I'm probably like, you could skip this. Like it is good if you want it. It's a good liner, but I don't know that it's top tier or something that you have to have. Other things, yes, but maybe not this. I'm just gonna go in next with mascara. Haus Labs does not have a mascara, so for this today, I'm just gonna go in with my favorite YSL Lash Clash and just do probably 2 coats, and I've curled my lashes off camera as well. Kind of on a random note, but I am gonna toss a prediction out there. I bet that in 2024, Haus Labs is going to launch either cream blushes, bronzers, or highlighters. The reason I say that, if you guys take a look at their website or the Sephora website, when they launched their reformulated blushes, they also launched a brush, a dual-ended brush, and it specifically states in the marketing that it's for cream products. Now, they already have a foundation brush, they already have a concealer brush, so there are no other cream products in their line that that brush would apply to. And honestly, I don't think that the brush looks great for powder products. I'm like fully putting this prediction out there that in 2024, there will be some type of cream blushes, highlighters, or bronzers for this line. You heard it here first. If this happens, I'm totally reusing this clip in a different video when I try them out, because I will. And the last step, of course, is a lip. I have their PhD Hybrid Lip Glaze. This is in the shade Persimmon. Admittedly, I might not pair this color with this particular color palette that I've got on my face normally. I probably would go for something more pinky, but it's the one product of lips that I have from them, so here we are. This is a really unique product. It's a combo between a lip plumper, a lip oil, and a lip gloss. So you have this like 3-in-1 product. It's so good. If you were to pick up one thing from the line, I would probably recommend this. One, because it's one of the more affordable things, and it's just such a good formula. This is really one of the best lip oil type products that I've tried. It's got a rather large doe foot applicator here, and it goes on so smoothly, and the colors that they came out with are just unbelievable. There's cool tones, there's warm tones, there's a couple of nudes. There's something for everyone there. So I'm just gonna go in with a bit of this. Why am I not surprised that even though I'm like, oh, that might not be the best color, like it still works with everything else on the face. I'm like giddy right now. This is so pretty. Okay, you guys, this is the final look. I hope you can tell how truly passionate and enthused I am about this makeup brand. This is something that truly has a product that fits everyone's skin type, skin needs. The application is so easy. It looks so beautiful and natural on the face. You can amp it up for a more glam, you can tone it down for something more day-to-day. I mean, I know when you put like a full face of one makeup line on, it's generally gonna look pretty good because the products are designed to work well with one another, but oh my gosh, I just love this so much. Like, I hope you can tell the glow from the highlighter is so pretty. The bronzer is such a soft, like perfect undertone. I just can't emphasize how nice this feels on the face and how I don't feel like I have a full face of makeup on. So if you have been curious about Haus Labs, if you wanted to try their new blushes, I really hope you enjoyed this video and found something helpful or inspiring for you to go out and create your own look with these products. Make sure and subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos. But again, my name is Molly, and thank you guys so much for joining me to talk about the beauty of it all. Bye.